My daughter was in terrible pain after her accident, but this nurse's response made my blood boil. I'll never forget how she smirked while my child suffered. She had broken both legs in a car crash, and the doctors said the next 48 hours would be crucial. The pain medicine they gave her only lasted 4 hours, and when it wore off, she would cry so hard she could barely breathe. Her whole body would shake, and it broke my heart watching her suffer. I started setting alarms 30 minutes before each dose. The night nurse would always say, "I'll get to it," but wouldn't move from her phone. My daughter would squeeze my hand so tight, tears rolling down her face, begging for help. I felt so helpless watching the clock tick by. One night, the medicine was an hour late. I found the nurse laughing in the break room, scrolling through social media. When I reminded her about the medicine, she rolled her eyes and said, "She's young. She can handle it." She didn't even look up from her phone. I lost it. I told her, "That's my 16-year-old daughter sobbing in pain while you're watching TikToks." I marched straight to the supervisor's office at 3 a.m., shaking with anger. The supervisor checked the records and found out the nurse had been forgetting doses for other patients too. She was fired on the spot. Our new nurse was amazing. She never made my daughter wait a single minute for her medicine, and even brought her favorite ice cream to help cheer her up. Sometimes I still think about how many other patients suffered because of that nurse's laziness. Being in pain is terrible, but being ignored when you're in pain is even worse.
My daughter's teacher made her run laps with a broken ankle, and karma hit back hard. I knew something was wrong when my daughter limped off the school bus. Her face was red and streaked with tears, and she was clutching her backpack like it was keeping her upright. My heart dropped. "What happened, sweetie?" I asked, helping her to the car. "I fell during recess," she whispered, her voice shaking. "I was playing on the monkey bars and slipped. Ms. Thompson said I was faking it and made me do PE anyway. She told everyone I was just trying to get attention." My blood boiled. She couldn't even put weight on her foot, but her teacher forced her to run 4 laps around the track. When my daughter cried and begged to stop, the teacher told her to stop being dramatic. I drove straight to the ER. The X-rays showed what I already knew. Her ankle was broken in 2 places. The doctor was horrified when he heard what happened. The next morning, I marched into the principal's office with the medical report. But here's the crazy part. Ms. Thompson walked in while I was there, limping. Turns out she'd twisted her own ankle in the parking lot that morning. She looked at me, then at my daughter's X-rays on the desk, and her face went pale. The principal suspended her for a week without pay. But the real karma? She had to sit through all her classes with a throbbing ankle because she wouldn't want to be dramatic about it. Sometimes the universe delivers justice in the most perfect way.
Have you ever had the wrong idea about someone? My neighbor Karen called the cops on me 3 times in 1 month. First for excessive noise when I was mowing my lawn at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Then for suspicious activity because I was working in my garage with the door open past 9 p.m. Finally, she reported my perfectly legal garden fence as a property line violation that needed immediate investigation. The whole street couldn't stand her. She'd march outside in her bathrobe to yell at kids for stepping on her precious grass, left passive-aggressive notes on everyone's cars about trash can placement and proper parking etiquette. The HOA meetings were basically just Karen complaint sessions. Mrs. Henderson from 2 houses down called her the neighborhood witch. Even the mailman would shake his head when delivering to her house. We all had Karen horror stories. Then Hurricane Maria slammed our town. Power went out Tuesday night and stayed out for 6 days. Cell towers were down, roads blocked by fallen trees. It was complete chaos. No grocery stores open, gas stations closed, people stuck with whatever they had stockpiled. I was doing wellness checks on the elderly neighbors Thursday night when I heard hammering coming from Karen's backyard. Loud, rhythmic pounding at 2 a.m. I'd had enough. I climbed our shared fence, ready to give her a piece of my mind about noise complaints during a natural disaster. What I found in her garage stopped me cold. Karen had converted the entire space into a makeshift emergency shelter. Military-style cots lined up in rows, thick blankets folded at the foot of each one, a camping stove set up with industrial-sized pots. She was hammering together wooden partition walls to give people privacy. "What the hell is this?" I asked, genuinely confused. She looked embarrassed, caught in the act. The Martinez family's roof completely caved in from that fallen oak. Water destroyed everything. The Johnsons' basement flooded when the sump pump died. They lost their medications, baby formula, everything. The elderly couple on Maple Street has no heat and Mr. Chen's oxygen concentrator stopped working. She gestured to the organized chaos around her. They have nowhere else to go. Red Cross shelter is 30 miles away and roads are impassable. Over the next 6 days, I watched the neighborhood's biggest complainer quietly house 14 displaced people from 6 different families. She used her entire emergency fund, money she'd been saving for a new roof, to buy battery-powered heaters, lanterns, and non-perishable food from the one hardware store that managed to stay open. She cooked massive meals on that camp stove 3 times a day, gave up her own master bedroom to the family with 3 young kids, slept on a folding chair in her kitchen so others could have the couch. When little Sophia Martinez had an asthma attack, Karen drove through flooded streets at midnight to find an open pharmacy 2 towns over. She knew every family's medical needs, dietary restrictions, even remembered that Mr. Johnson was diabetic and needed sugar-free options. The noise complaints suddenly made sense. She hadn't been reporting me for mowing. She was calling about the Hendersons' loose fence post that was about to fall and hurt someone. The suspicious activity wasn't about my garage work. She'd been documenting the suspicious van that had been casing houses before the storm hit. That fence violation report? I found the paperwork later. She wasn't complaining about my fence. She was trying to get the city to approve an extension so the neighborhood kids would have a bigger shared yard to play in safely. When power finally returned the following Tuesday, Karen went right back to her usual grumpy self. Still left notes about trash cans, still yelled at kids on her lawn, but now when she shouts at them, I notice she's really warning them about the broken sprinkler head that could trip them, or the hornet's nest in her rose bush that could sting them. The complaint calls to the city. Turns out she's been reporting dangerous potholes, broken streetlights, and unsafe crosswalks for years. Some people just show love by trying to fix everything that could hurt you. Karen still annoys the hell out of me sometimes, but now I know she's got everyone's back when it really matters. Was there a time when you warned everybody no one listened and something bad happened? Every night at 3 a.m. this guy would come into our 24-hour diner near the college dorms, always sat at the same window table, always ordered ordered black coffee, never touched his phone, just watched the dorm entrance for hours. Something felt wrong. His clothes were worn and dirty, but he wore this pristine gold watch that looked worth thousands. When drunk students came in, he'd get tense, especially when girls walked past. He'd type something and watch them through the window. I told campus security. Just another night owl getting coffee. Went to my manager. Don't harass the customers. Called the cops. We can't arrest someone for sitting in a diner. Nobody cared about my videos of his weird behavior. Then one night, he left his phone on the table. I saw the screen. Official police surveillance software. My heart sank. I'd been suspicious of an undercover cop doing his job. For weeks, I felt horrible, but that feeling wouldn't go away. He'd adjust his watch whenever girls left alone. His police phone never made calls, and he always disappeared right before real campus police did their rounds. Last night, he wasn't at his usual spot. I saw him following a stumbling girl toward the dorm's back entrance. I almost stayed quiet. He was a cop, right? But I couldn't. I ran out screaming. When actual police tackled him, they found his backpack. Inside was the truth. Fake badges, zip ties, duct tape, hunting knives, that expensive watch stolen from a missing girl. His police phone had hundreds of stalking photos. He'd been hunting at colleges across 3 states.